Hey guys, it's your friendly neighborhood doc here on Wednesday evening. Just wanted to let you know in the front end that the local shop that I use unfortunately didn't get a lot of their books. There was some issues with Diamond. They're closing one location and consolidating everything over to another location, which oddly enough, that location is very close to where I live. But anyway, I only got 4 books today. I had planned on getting a lot more and having a lot more to talk about, but unfortunately, it looks like I won't be getting those books until Monday or so of next week. So let's go ahead and dive into the pile, and then I will be back with a part 2 of this video probably next Monday evening. So let's get started. All right, the first book that I picked up this week is Amazing Spider-Man number 62 by Joe Kelly with art by Ed McGuinness. And this continues the 8 Deaths of Spider-Man story. It also has this Ed McGuinness artwork. I think it's good artwork. I've just never been the greatest fan of Ed McGuinness, so I know a lot of people have not been the greatest fan of John Romita Jr. when John was on the title for the last couple of years. But it is exciting, it's action-packed, and this continues the story of Spider-Man playing as one of Dr. Doom's lackeys, I guess, for a lack of a better term, and he is trying to go up against the Scions of Cyttorak, and Cyttorak is the god that gave the Juggernaut his power. So he's going up against these Scions, or these children, and he's already died once in the first issue, but he has 8 reeds that he can count on to keep bringing him back. Now, he will feel every death that he goes through because he dies, and he will feel the full impact of that. And here's Norman Osborn talking to him about how death changes a man and how death causes you to look at things differently than you normally would. So it's funny to see Norman coming up, with that particular chestnut. But he ends up fighting Cyprian in this issue, and Cyprian can teleport. So this is a learning curve for Spider-Man because he's had to read books about magic. He's had to learn more and more and more about magic so that he can counter the spells and counter the attacks of these Scions. So it's got the comedy that the book has been missing under Zeb's writing. Joe Kelly seems to have brought the comedy back to that. But at the same time, there's just so much moving and so many bits and pieces to this that I feel like it was put together rather quickly. And so it's going to be a whirlwind of issues. And I really wanted them to get back to more depth of story with Spider-Man, because I know some of the issues of Ultimate Spider-Man haven't had any action in them at all, and that can get boring really quickly. But at the same time, if you're trying to build Peter into something different, if you're trying to build his world up, bring people like Shay in as a girlfriend, things like that, then you need to have a solid foundation. I'm not saying Joe Kelly's a bad writer. He's not. He's kind of just making do with what he's been given in this particular instance. And so far, it's been pretty good. But I just don't think it's great. All right. Now, Absolute Wonder Woman. I've decided I'm going to give all these Absolute titles at least 3 issues to see how they react. And so far, Batman has let me down. Wonder Woman continued the story and continues to change not so much who she is, but how she reacts and how she interacts with this world of men and this world of artillery, and how she brings a different outlook, how she saved Steve Trevor, how she fell in love with Steve Trevor. This artwork by Hayden Sherman is action-packed, and it has excellent storytelling. Different angles than what you're used to seeing. and it brings to life these characters in a way that a lesser artist might not be able to do. But then you get to see looks like this, and then you realize how much they care for each other, even though they just met each other. And then Diana asserts herself and says, I am a warrior princess, and I am able to come up with plans to deal with what she was fighting at the beginning of the issue was Harbinger Prime. Okay, and it's this big red guy right here. And so it was, someone coming as a portent before the main villain comes. And she handled him pretty easily. She took care of him. But at the same time, he wasn't the only villain. There's more coming. There's more than meets the eye, to say in Transformer terms. But instead, we get this creature here who looks like a giant kaiju, but she says it's death personified. So I've got a feeling that this book is just going to continue to up the stakes and ramp up everything, the action, the adventure that comes in. So I'm going to definitely check out the third issue, and I'm pretty excited about this particular Absolute book. So good job, DC. All right. Ultimate X-Men came out last week, but my shop was shorted on it, so I picked it up at another shop today. And this continues the story of Maystorm, and here on the right we have a character called Surge. And so their powers are kind of similar to one another, and we still have the stories that happen in the high school. We still have high school drama. We still have a very manga-influenced book in its storytelling. But then we have the Shadow King that wakes up. And then he meets this character here who I jokingly refer to as Ultimate Wolverine, because look at him. He looks like he could be Wolverine, but he says his name is Akihiro. And Akihiro has been one of the ways that the Children of the Atom, the cult that a lot of these mutants, quote-unquote mutants, belong to. It's pretty much a Jim Jones type of thing, except they haven't drank the Kool-Aid. But you get the Shadow King coming along and coming to understand, hey, the world's not ending. If you think it is, you're a fool. And it's going to be his story. He feels that he's going to choose when the world ends, as he is the Shadow King. Then you get the meeting of Surge and Maystorm, and they kind of feel each other out power-wise. And like I said, this book, Peach Momoko's artwork very much is manga. Not just manga influenced, but very manga. And so it's very interesting to see how all of this translates to the storytelling, to the energy of the issue, to the fighting between the two characters. So this book, much like Ultimate Spider-Man, is somewhat of a slow burn. But we are getting introduced to teenagers with exceptional powers and teenagers who are outcasts. So at the end of the day, what is X-Men except for that? Taking those outcasts and trying to show that this world belongs to them just as much as it belongs to anyone else. So I really, really still enjoy this book, but I'm going to need to see some ultimate, pun aside, action in this book before issue 12, or I probably will drop it just because it's taken a little bit longer to get somewhere than I thought it would. But I'm still thoroughly enjoying it. All right, and the last book, and I'm going to talk about this book on initial assessment, is Welcome to the Maynard. And it's written by James Robinson with art by Jay Bone. And it is a story about a new bellhop at the Maynard. If you like Harry Potter books, things like that, magic books, then you will probably enjoy this one from the read-through that I've done on it. All right, guys. So, like I said, unfortunately, it was a lot shorter week. I also did want to say happy early Thanksgiving to everybody. I hope that everybody gets the chance to be at home with their families tomorrow and get to spend time with those that they love and that they support. So, have a great night, everybody, and we will catch you in the next video. Thanks.